You know that feeling when you finally decide enough is enough? When you stop chasing, stop texting, stop wondering where they are and what they're doing? That moment when you choose yourself and step back into your own life? Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. The twin flame journey is probably one of the most intense experiences you'll ever go through. And if you're dealing with a runner, you already know how confusing and painful it can be. One day, they're all in, the next, they're gone. One moment you feel this incredible connection, the next, you're left wondering if you imagined the whole thing. But here's something most people don't talk about enough. What happens when you go silent? Not the kind of silence where you're secretly hoping they'll notice and come running back. I'm talking about real silence, the kind where you've genuinely let go and started focusing on yourself. When you've stopped posting things, hoping they'll see it, when you've stopped driving past their favorite spots, when you've actually moved on with your life, that silence hits different. And your twin flame runner? They feel it. Oh, they definitely feel it. And what they do next might surprise you. So let's get into the 7 things your twin flame runner will do when your silence feels permanent to them, because understanding this might just help you make sense of what you're going through right now. Number 1, they start checking up on you through other people. When a runner realizes you've gone quiet, really quiet, the first thing they usually do is panic a little, but they won't reach out directly because that would mean admitting they care, right? So instead, they become detectives. They'll suddenly start asking mutual friends about you. How are you doing? Have you been seeing anyone? What have you been up to? They might reach out to people they haven't talked to in months, just because that person has access to your life. Your cousin who they met once at a party? Suddenly they're best friends. That coworker you mentioned a few times? They're sliding into their messages, asking casual questions that aren't casual at all. The thing is, runners are used to feeling your energy focused on them. They're used to knowing that somewhere out there you're thinking about them, missing them, wanting them. When that energy disappears, it creates a void they can't ignore. It's like a constant hum that suddenly stops, and the silence is deafening. They need to know what's changed. Are you okay? Have you moved on? Are you with someone else? These questions eat at them because your silence has taken away their security blanket. They can't feel you anymore. And it terrifies them more than they'd ever admit. You might not even realize this is happening because they're being sneaky about it. But trust me, if you've gone truly silent, they're gathering intel. They need to know if you've really let go or if you're just playing a game. And when they realize you're genuinely living your life without them in it, that's when things get interesting. Number 2, they'll experience physical and emotional symptoms. This one catches a lot of runners off guard. When your silence becomes real, when you've genuinely detached, the runner's body starts responding in ways they can't control. We're talking about physical symptoms here: anxiety that comes out of nowhere, trouble sleeping, dreams about you that feel so real they wake up confused, a heavy feeling in their chest that won't go away. The twin flame connection isn't just emotional or spiritual, it's energetic. You two are connected on a level that goes beyond what most people understand. So when you pull your energy back completely, when you stop sending them love and light and hope through the universe, they feel that absence in their physical body. They might find themselves crying without knowing why, getting angry at random things, feeling restless like they need to do something but they don't know what. Some runners describe it as feeling like something's missing, like they lost something important but can't remember what it was. The dreams are usually the worst part for them. They'll dream about you, about conversations you need to have, about timelines where they made different choices. They'll wake up reaching for their phone, wanting to text you, then remember why they can't or shouldn't. These dreams feel like messages, like their soul is trying to tell them something their mind isn't ready to accept. Their friends might notice they're off. They're distracted, moody, not themselves. But when people ask what's wrong, they can't explain it. How do you tell someone that you're feeling the absence of a person you pushed away? That you're mourning a connection you ran from? So they keep it inside, and that just makes the symptoms worse. Number 3, they start seeing you everywhere. Once your silence settles in, the universe has a funny way of making sure the runner can't forget about you. Suddenly, they're seeing things that remind them of you everywhere they go. That song you both loved? It's playing in every store they walk into. Your favorite color? It's everywhere. Someone wearing your perfume walks past them on the street and they freeze. They'll see your name pop up in the strangest places. On billboards, in books, in conversations between strangers. They'll see someone who looks like you from behind, and their heart will skip a beat. These aren't coincidences. This is the universe holding up a mirror and saying, "Look what you're running from." Angel numbers become a constant thing for them, too. They'll glance at the clock, and it's 11:11 every single time. License plates with number sequences that mean something. Receipts totaling amounts that catch their attention. The universe doesn't let runners hide from what they're avoiding. Social media becomes a minefield. They'll see posts from random accounts that seem to speak directly to their situation. Quotes about lost love, about timing, about people who ran away from the right person. It's like their feed becomes a personalized message board calling them out. What's happening here is that your silence has created space for the universe to step in. When you were chasing, when your energy was loud and constant, they could tune it out. But now that you're quiet, all these other signs and synchronicities become impossible to ignore. The universe is basically saying, since they won't listen to you, let's try a different approach. Number 4, they'll reach out, but not really. This is the most frustrating one. The runner will find ways to make contact without actually making contact. They'll like an old photo on your social media from months ago, then unlike it quickly. They'll watch all your stories, but never reply. They'll start typing a message, and you might even see those 3 dots, but the message never comes. They might send you something that seems accidental. A text that says, "Sorry, wrong person," but you know it wasn't. A message clearly meant for you, but disguised as a mistake. They're testing the waters without diving in because they're still scared. They want to know if you'll respond, if you still care, if there's still an opening for them to come back. Some runners will reach out through really indirect methods. They'll comment on a mutual friend's post that they know you'll see. They'll be at places they know you might be, then act surprised to see you. They'll ask questions to people knowing those questions will get back to you. This behavior shows they're struggling with your silence, but they're not ready to face what that means. They want your attention again, but they don't want to be vulnerable enough to actually ask for it. It's their way of keeping one foot in the door while the rest of their body is still outside ready to run again. The key here is recognizing these breadcrumbs for what they are: half measures. When someone is really ready to be in your life, they show up fully. They don't play games or test waters. They dive in. So these little reach outs, they're signs that your silence is working, that they're feeling the loss, but they're not quite there yet. Number 5, they go through a personal crisis. When your silence becomes undeniable, when the runner realizes you're truly gone, something breaks inside them. They often go through what looks like a personal crisis or dark night of the soul. This is when they start questioning everything about their life. Their choices, their patterns, their fears, everything. They might suddenly end other relationships they were using as distractions. That new person they were dating? Suddenly that relationship feels empty and they can't pretend anymore. They start seeing how they've been running not just from you, but from themselves, from their own growth, from their own healing. This is when runners often hit rock bottom in some area of their life. Maybe their career stops fulfilling them. Maybe their friendships feel shallow. Maybe they look in the mirror and don't recognize who they've become. Your absence creates a void that forces them to face themselves, and what they see isn't always pretty. Some runners dive into self-help during this phase. They're suddenly reading books about relationships, watching videos about healing, maybe even going to therapy. They're trying to understand why they run, why they sabotage, why they can't just accept love when it's right in front of them. This crisis period is actually necessary for their growth. Your silence has removed the distraction of your presence. Without you to focus on, without the drama of the push and pull, they have to sit with themselves. And that's uncomfortable. That's painful. But that's also where real transformation happens. You might hear through others that they're going through something, that they're changing, that they seem different. This is them finally doing the work that the twin flame journey requires. Your silence didn't break them. It actually gave them the space they needed to break open and start healing. Number 6, they try to make you jealous or get your attention. Now, this one might seem contradictory, but hear me out. When a runner feels your permanent silence, sometimes their ego kicks in hard. They can't handle that you're not focused on them anymore, so they try to provoke a reaction. They want to know they still have an effect on you. This is when you might see them suddenly very active on social media, posting things they know you'll see, pictures with other people, status updates about how great their life is, check-ins at places doing fun things. They're basically saying, "Look at me, look how fine I am without you. Don't you care?" Some runners will go as far as flaunting a new relationship, making sure you know they've moved on, even though deep down they haven't. They want you to feel what they're feeling. That jealousy, that loss, that ache. It's immature, but it comes from a place of pain and confusion. The irony is that these attempts to get your attention usually come from a place of missing you desperately. They're not posting those things because they're happy. They're posting them because they're trying to convince themselves they're happy, and maybe hoping you'll break your silence and reach out. When you don't react, when you stay silent even through these tactics, it hits them even harder. It confirms that you've really moved on, that their games don't work anymore, that they've actually lost you. And that realization is often what pushes them toward genuine change. The important thing for you to remember is not to take the bait. Your silence has been powerful because it's been genuine. Don't let their ego games pull you back into old patterns. Let them do what they need to do. Your job is to stay focused on yourself and your own journey. Number 7, they eventually start their real healing journey. This is the one that gives hope. After all the checking up, the physical symptoms, the signs, the half-hearted reach-outs, the crisis, and the attention-seeking, something shifts. The runner finally gets it. Your silence, your absence, your decision to choose yourself, it all clicks into place for them. This is when they stop running from the connection and start running toward themselves. They begin genuine therapy or spiritual work. They start addressing their childhood wounds, their attachment issues, their fears of intimacy and vulnerability. They stop blaming you or the connection for their discomfort and start taking responsibility for their own healing. You might not see this happening because by this point, you're deep in your own journey. But it's happening. They're learning about themselves, growing, changing. They're becoming the person they need to be, not for you, but for themselves. And that's exactly how it should be. Some runners will reach out during this phase, but it's different. It's not desperate or manipulative. It's honest. They might send a genuine message acknowledging their patterns, apologizing for their behavior, expressing what they've learned. They're not asking for anything. They're just sharing their growth. Other runners will do this work quietly, and you won't hear from them until they're truly ready, until they've done enough healing that they can show up as a whole person, not someone running from their shadows. And that timeline is different for everyone. Some runners heal in months, others take years. Your silence gave them the greatest gift, even though it didn't feel like a gift at the time. It gave them space to find themselves, to do the work, to become ready for real love, real connection, real partnership. Whether that partnership ends up being with you or with someone else, your silence catalyzed their growth. And here's the beautiful part. While they were going through all of this, you were doing your own healing. You were choosing yourself, building your life, becoming whole on your own. Your silence wasn't just powerful for them. It was powerful for you too. The twin flame journey isn't about chasing or waiting or suffering. It's about growth, healing, and becoming the best version of yourself. Sometimes that means stepping back. Sometimes that means going silent. Sometimes that means loving someone enough to let them go so they can find their way back to themselves. Your silence was never cruel. It was necessary for both of you.